Crotos managed to escape, the horde continued on a glorious triumphal march. Now the time had come to set an example. A deed of particularly heinous evilness would inspire the creatures of the horde to greater things. To this purpose, the horde moved deep into the wealthy heartland of the Alliance. It was on the hunt for a creature whose sugar-sweet kindness and cordiality would rot the tusks of an orc.
Tak jo. Mise Pátá, obsaď Wall Street. Wall Street. I přesto, že Kratos zvládl uprchnout a horda pokračovala ve svém triumfálním pochodu, teď přišel čas i příkladem, zvláště ohavný skutek by mohl inspirovat tvory hordy. K vyšším cílům kvůli tomuto účelu se horda přestěhovala hluboko do srdce bohatých zemí Aliance. Byla na lovu tvora, jehož cukrově sladká laskavost a srdečnost by dokázala prohnít i orský bykly jednorožce.
The horde had grown impressively. Many goblins and nagas had joined the military evil's army, but evil was still not satisfied. To evolve any further, a particularly vile act would be needed. There was an enchanting fairy-like being in these lands, whose goodness oozed out through its every pore. The death of the unicorn would inspire the horde to even greater deeds. Moreover, its head would look really nice hung over the fireplace. However, this creature was not only strong, but it possessed an inner magic that could becalm even the most vicious orc and make it change allegiance. Help would be required in order to ensure the horde wasn't transformed into a pathetic heap of flower-gathering hippies.
Hey, PC. No jasně, takže potřebuju takže tohle naga. Tohle byl zase na dlouho, jak to vidím.
Rumor had it there was an ancient cave here, once inhabited by orcs. Perhaps the ultimate evil would find some answers there.
No, nejprve ale budu muset se dostat přes tady tohle, což bude trochu menší problém. Takže orkové, nagy. Najdi poustevníka. Pouštěvníku, mohl bych mi poprosit, kde pak je tvé doupě?
Whoops, just realized I skipped a paragraph, sorry. There were 3 upwardly mobile Alliance cities in the vicinity. Previously, these had been industrial centers with well-regulated trades. However, in recent years, the banking industry had grown exponentially, and so now all the inhabitants worked for the banking sector. These cities have been networked together via a well-guarded road system, colloquially referred to as Wall Street. Is this really relevant? I don't think so.
Vážně? Tady potřebuji specifickou počet, no. Kutilové doupě, kraj ho postavíme. Jedním tohle bude stačit.
Some creatures had been hiding in a secret room. They joined the ultimate evil.
Nice. Tím pádem jsme ušetřili, ale nemusím vyrábět. Yes, ty se budeš hodit. Ale nezabral mi to populační body, což je super.
The last royal aid had reached one of the threatened banks in the shape of a gold-laden donkey. A well-functioning financial bubble like that would always be a law not just to bankers, but to heroes as well, looking for somewhere to store the proceeds of their last forays. Once this was done, they marched straight for the nearest dungeon. Unfortunately, that belonged to the ultimate evil, and as dungeons go, would prove a very hard nut to crack. The ultimate evil would not permit any further gold transports to reach a bank in distress. This was in order to prevent the emergence of any more heroes. Some creatures had been hiding in a secret room. They joined the ultimate evil.
Nice, naga.
The Horde was preparing to attack one of the cities, but the reluctant evil did not feel quite strong enough. The next task was to take care of the unicorn, as this evil deed would help to strengthen its army. The entrance to the old orc cave was in this area of the overworld. The ultimate evil instructed its creatures to enter it. They were to look for something useful to fight the unicorn. The creatures of the ultimate evil entered the Orc Cave, referred to as DF9 with trepidation. Due to the greed of its owners, this ambitious building project had never quite been finished. However, there was bound to be something here that would prove useful in defeating the unicorn. At least, that's what the strategy guide kept saying. Another bank required government help. Immediately, a gold-laden donkey headed out onto Wall Street. An orc emerged from the darkness, muttering, "Right, show me what you've got then." He started attacking the creatures of the ultimate evil. After a tough battle, the mysterious orc was slain. What was all that about? But wait, suddenly the corpse of the orc began to disintegrate. At the same time, something could be seen moving by that strange altar in the orc cave. Was that his spirit floating in the air over there? After a few seconds, the strange altar appeared to set the orc free. It would seem he had risen from the dead. He now happily joined the horde, having ensured their fighting skills were up to scratch. This strange altar was impressive. Perhaps the ultimate evil would soon be able to build something like this in its own dungeon, once it had inspired its monsters through an act of evil. The hungry evil was in the mood for horse salami. The time had come to get rid of the unicorn.
Avoid the fratricidal war. Each sliver of a soul exists in its own right.
Him again? Good grief, can't he and his pseudo-mystical babbling go somewhere else? We're trying to tell a story here. Goes without saying that the servants of the ultimate evil intercepted this gold transport as well. Suddenly, the creatures of the abominable evil itched all over and started scratching their bodies. This was bound to have been caused by the presence of the nauseatingly good unicorn rubbing off on them. the Horde's bloodthirsty monsters killed the disgustingly fluffy unicorn on behalf of the ensconced evil. For the troops, this meant only one thing: horse salami. But wait, that's not all. This evil deed completely delighted the Horde and inspired it to new evil deeds. The ultimate evil was now able to get its servants to upgrade the throne room. This would give access to more fabulously diabolical things. The ultimate evil returned to its throne room at once and had it upgraded immediately. The swanky evil's new throne room shone in all its glory. The evil immediately checked out the other rooms, particularly the Tinkerer's Cave, to see what new things its creatures would be able to research now. The strange altar in the old Orc Cave was fascinating. With the new and improved throne room and a little brain power, it would presumably not be beyond the wit of the ultimate evil to build one in its own dungeon. There, it could be made available to all its creatures. The evil and heinous acts perpetrated by the ultimate evil left the city feeling threatened, and they hired extra guards to protect them. The amused evil sniggered as it noticed this.
Bych se vrátil.
Some creatures had been hiding in a secret room. They joined the ultimate evil.
Okay.
The ultimate evil's arena was imposing, impressive, charming, and pure fiction. In fact, this new room had not even been researched in the Tinkerer's Cave yet. How on earth is this game? Once again, a banker got into difficulty and shouted loudly for government support. A gold convoy started making its way along Wall Street. It's payday. another gold transport was stopped by the creatures of the vile evil. The creatures of the ultimate evil had discovered an entrance to the underground from the surface. It would be wise to secure this area, so they would be able to use this entrance themselves. The ultimate evil's creatures occupied the region with the greatest of ease, and so made the entrance to the underground accessible. The cities had still not all been wiped from the face of the overworld. It was time that the lazy evil finally got around to doing something about it.
Říkal jsem, že já si vždycky chci to vybaxovat, já to nespěchám.
This area of the overworld housed an old but functional hero's entrance that led into the underground close to the dungeon. The ultimate evil decided to secure it in order to use it as another secret means of sneaking up to the surface.
Jo, já dávám kutilovat opět do hory.
The area around the old hero's entrance had been secured. From now on, the vile evil would be able to use this for its own purposes. Once again, a gold transport was required. the vicious evil's horde fervently destroyed one of the gold transports and greedily helped themselves to its contents. The ambling evil had still not researched the arena. This was an extremely important room for the army's striking power. Inexcusable.
Jo, to bych potřeboval mít prostor.
The tedious evil had still not destroyed all the cities, and by now had exceeded the time frame the developers had designated for this task. Another bank required government help. Immediately, a gold-laden donkey headed out onto Wall Street.
Jako já to asi tady tím ho umlatím, ty vole, bo to jako je lehký. Já chci udělat arénu. Já chci udělat i ty vedlejšáky do prčíc.
Few creatures of the ultimate evil had lit a fire in the dungeon and begun to barbecue. It goes without saying that the servants of the ultimate evil intercepted this gold transport as well. It's payday. Once again, a gold transport was required.
Sorry. Postava rany, jo, to bych rád. Ničeho. Ale tebe to nebylo, tak proč to jdeš?
The cities had still not all been wiped from the face of the overworld. It was time that the lazy evil finally got around to doing something about it. The ultimate evil still had to expand the arena in order to make it really useful. A fighting pit would enable it to improve one of its creatures and train them to be an even better fighter. Exercise equipment would allow its minions to relax and ensure they didn't get bored. A fighting pit had been built. The secretive evil immediately grabbed one of its creatures and threw the wretch into it in order to be trained. Sounds strange, doesn't it? But that's exactly what happened.
Tak 1000 ty pytle dělej.
that driving me into an incandescent rage evil has still not managed to get one of its creatures trained. Come on, move your ass. You
Kurwa
are.
drżu.
One of the creatures found himself in the fighting pit, and somewhat reluctantly, after being convinced via the persuasive power of violence, began training. Heyday! Mission accomplished. The creature had finished its training and evolved. Smugly, the ultimate evil patted itself on the back. Once again, a banker got into difficulty and shouted loudly for government support. A gold convoy started making its way along Wall Street. Spiders have spread throughout the underground.
Kurwa.
The strange altar was finally researched and ready to be built. Soon, any creatures who were stupid enough to die in the overworld could be brought back to life. That is, if it were desirable to do so. There were still cities waiting to be annihilated by the Horde. Another gold transport was stopped by the creatures of the vile evil. It's payday.
Oh.
Another bank required government help. Immediately, a gold-laden donkey headed out onto Wall Street.
Ty vole.
The cities lay there like ripe fruit, just waiting to be picked. the ultimate evil gathered its creatures in order to address the problem.
Tu karavanu asi nezvládám zastavit.
Hopefully no one has arachnophobia. A spider nest has been discovered. Another bank had been rescued by lavish government bonds. Payday. There are enemies in your dungeon. Once again, a gold transport was required. A little snot is secretly making jokes about the ultimate evil behind its back. You should punish it. But I forgot which one it was. They're just all the same. The cities had still not all been wiped from the face of the overworld. It was time that the lazy evil finally got around to doing something about it. The vicious evil's horde fervently destroyed one of the gold transports and greedily helped themselves to its contents. The small fishing village offered little resistance against the horde. The thought of getting the fishermen to work for it was quickly rejected by a doubtful evil. It was concerned that the horde would get too used to something so tasty.
Ja moc nevím, co? Ach jo. Úplně se zapomněl mluvit. To bude spíš na stream než na video.
It's payday. The city by the forest and its lumber camp held up well, but were not able to tactically outwit the dastardly evil's genius, and so the city was destroyed by the horde. The question now arose whether the horde should start felling trees here, or whether that would enrage the night elves. Night elves? Oh, wrong game. Apologies.
Let's
The city by
go!
the quarry could not withstand the marauding horde and became victims to the bloodthirsty warriors. The survivors would be allowed to continue working in the quarry. They'd just be made to do it in chains to please the insidious evil. Mission accomplished. The unicorn graced the ultimate evil's mantelpiece. The cities lay in ruins and Wall Street was occupied. 99% of the mission objectives had been completed. Wait, no, it's 100%. Excellent.
Excellent! Já to jinak neumím, než na
The
excellent.
ultimate evil was on the trail of the mage Gandalf, one of the treacherous heroes who had banished it. Evil had followed him into a craggy valley, which was home to some trolls. Here the magician would utter his last spell.
Trolové z pekla. Mise 6. Jo, mise 6. Konečné zlo bylo na stopě mága Grundbála. Jak se jmenoval ten Gandalf, jo, tak to nebude asi příbuzný. Jednoho ze zrádných hrdinů, kteří ho zapodili, zlo ho sledoval do skalnatého údolí, které bylo domovem pro nějaké troly. Zde by mák mohl zamumlat své poslední zaklinadlo. Oh no.
Trolls, renowned for their striking power, inhabited this land. The ultimate evil had sent off Trollano, one of its Orc clan chiefs, to invite the trolls to join the horde. At the same time, the vengeful evil was on the hunt for the good magician Gandalf. He was thought to be in the area, and had been one of the heroes who had banished the evil. Not that the revenge-thirsty evil needed any reason for hunting down good-natured beings. First priority, however, was to meet with the clan chief. Everything else could be dealt with later.
Are you kidding me? Osvožil 30 populačních bodů hned ze začátku. Okay.
There was a small, very well-guarded Alliance camp in the overworld that had now noticed the Horde. Unfortunately, this camp was already connected to the dungeon, so that very soon, wave upon wave of heroes would start streaming into the dungeon. There are enemies in your dungeon.
Okay.
Payday.
A, tady.
Some creatures had been hiding in a secret room. They joined the ultimate evil.
Já musím postavit se tam proti nemocnici.
Gandaldor? Gandaldor? I thought he was already dead. Wasn't he killed by that evil sorcerer, Malfrog? Enemies have entered the dungeon. Hopefully no one has arachnophobia. A spider nest has been discovered.
Tak si to poznačím. Označím si všechny ty kde se může kopat.
It's payday.
Piče.
There are enemies in your dungeon.
Tak jo. Tohle. Jak není pivo?
Did I mention how well-known Trollano is? Well, of course I did. Now, this groom wasn't half as famous. However, you may have heard of his son, Garthrob. But if that doesn't ring any bells, don't worry. I mean, who cares about World of Fightcraft these days anyway? Some creatures had been hiding in a secret room. They joined the ultimate evil.
Tohle bude chtít rozcizelinku.
Hopefully no one has arachnophobia. A spider nest has been discovered. It's payday. The ultimate evil has discovered a rat's nest. There are enemies in your dungeon.
Dwa... To 13... Ja mam złotą.
The ultimate evil has discovered a rat's nest.
Tohle bude trvat. Já to asi prostříhám do takové tyhle části, nejspíš.
Enemies have entered the dungeon. This Trollolo is so well known that a plan is afoot to make a movie about his life. But hey, let's face it, the development stage for that has been almost as long as a certain Duke needed to use up his chewing gum reserves.
Ale ne, to už tady je vykopnutý. Oh, kurja. Počka, to je... To už je 18, ty pytle. Tak jo. No, ty vole, si těším na dvojku, tam je toho mnoho víc. Okay, já budu muset skočit si na záchod. Tak jo. Kutilové doupěs. Tak tady postavíme tu arénu. Nepostavíme, protože to stojí strašně moc. Tak upgradem tohle. Dobré, a já dávám pauzu za chvíli. Šup.
Enemies have entered the dungeon.
Tak. Pročištěno. Další, super, fakt super, ty vole.
It's payday.
Upozorní své poskoky, že pokud Nebudou vařit pivo, rychleji, to se prostě na holou. To pak už nezabere. Já chci udělat arénu do prčic.
Gandaldor was on his way back from Fireguard. A couple of hobbits had been taken there. Oh God, I have that song in my head. The creatures of the ultimate evil came upon a strange portal. The evil immediately recognized it for what it was, the entrance to the demon realm. Could this be used to bring the demons under evil's control? The glowering creatures surrounding the area did not appear to share this wish. They seemed more interested in a game of blood and tumbles. When the demons persistently refused to subjugate themselves to the vile evil, the horde promptly stormed them. The portal disappeared, but it would certainly not be the only one. What did the demons' presence here mean? The ultimate evil let its creatures continue to push on to where the clan chiefs resided. The unspeakable evil's creatures saw Trollolo and Groom in the distance. However, their glowing red eyes did not bode well. They appeared to be under a spell, an energy aura wobbling around them somewhat disturbing. To make matters worse, the hero magician Gandaldor happened to appear at this moment too. After all, a magician never arrives too late or too soon, but always precisely when he means to.
Defend this place, my minions, for true evil. The Horde will not be a problem for my master.
With these unpleasing words, magic portals opened in the disgruntled evil's dungeon to release sinister demons into its realm. Brace yourself. The source of the demonic aura had to lie somewhere in the underground. The bustling evil instructed the little snots to dig the underground for all they were worth, and to leave no stone unturned until its source was found. It's payday. A demon portal in the dungeon has been closed.
Ja i misklik. Jebat.
Enemies have... Another demon portal has opened in the dungeon. The demon portal in the dungeon has been closed successfully. The source of the demonic aura in the underground had still not been discovered. Of course, it would have been pure chance to stumble on it, at least after a few mining operations in the dungeon. The ultimate evil's little snots broke through a wall into a large room. An evil-looking crystal lay pulsating in the middle of it. This had to be the source of the demonic aura. A group of vicious demons were guarding the area. Since neither Buffy nor the Winchester brothers were currently available to sort them out, for better or for worse, it would have to be up to the Horde or the delegating evil to get the job done. Some creatures had been hiding in a secret room. They joined the ultimate evil. The destruction of the demons and the hellish crystal meant that the barrier was destroyed too. The self-satisfied evil allowed itself a quick pat on the back. Now, it was time to deal with Trollolo and Broom. It's payday. Spiders have spread throughout the underground.
Ja. Oké, doe nou weer 10.
Enemies have entered the dungeon. When the Horde's creatures reached the clan chief's Trollolo and Groove, there was no more demonic fire to be seen blazing in their eyes. Both joined the ultimate evil with the greatest glee. The prudent evil resisted the urge to punish them both severely for their treachery, for the time being at any rate. Currently, it needed all the help it could muster. This basically good hero had allied himself with the demons, who were resisting the unspeakable evil's control. That did not bode well, at least not for the ultimate evil. The path to the clan chief's dungeon appeared to be guarded by some corrupted trolls, who bombarded the gorge incessantly with stones. The well-armed evil would have to take good care of its troops here, or alternatively, avoid clever tactics and send them through en masse, as befits a horde.
Tak já to musím vzít asi tím druhým. Hádám. Zkusím.
It's payday.
Projdu.
Some confused creatures decided to go up against the horde of the ultimate evil. However, the moment was short-lived and their fate sealed. The creatures of the keeping itself at a safe distance evil entered the clan chief's dungeon. However, something was very wrong. The demonic influence was palpable. Slowly they groped their way forward, penetrating further into the darkness, following the relentless clicks of the ultimate evil. Spiders have spread throughout the underground.
Démoni.
Some creatures have been held captive here, and after being liberated, were pleased to join the horde. The research-hungry evil had discovered a chaos forge. Here trolls created powerful improvements for the entire horde. Something like that would do nicely in its own dungeon. Payday! The troops of the ultimate evil continued searching through the troll's dungeon. What terrible secrets would they uncover? There are enemies in your dungeon.
Co probiju přes všechny. Ani nepověděl spali.
The second demonic crystal was destroyed by the Horde, and with its demise an area in the overworld was set free. This court, moreover, the rock throwers were able to free themselves from the spell and didn't hesitate to join the Horde.
This will not please my lord. The true evil will tear you apart. Vengeance will be ours.
The voice of the obviously corrupted magician boomed across the battlefield. He seemed to think himself a servant of evil, but he was serving the wrong evil, and the Horde would soon teach him that. Unfortunately, the demon's crystal had failed to provide access to certain areas of the overworld. The ever-exploratory evil then saw that the hero's camp in the overworld happened to be conveniently close to the crystal. This might just prove useful. It was time to clean up the camp. It goes without saying that the renegade demons and the Alliance were not the best of friends. Thus, another portal quite near to the camp opened, and demons started pouring out of it. Very soon, a fierce battle raged between the two camps. This could be
simulace.
to have the last laugh. Why not use the opportunity to wipe out the weakened Alliance, if I may be so bold?
Kovárna chaosu.
There are enemies in your dungeon. A room full of rats has been unearthed. The troll chieftain Groom died a heroic death. At least, that's what will be written in the history book. Probably best not to mention his addiction to demon blood. The research-hungry evil built a Chaos Forge with the greatest of ease. It would soon be home to trolls, who would begin to upgrade the Horde's equipment. The much-needed item had been built in the Chaos Forge. Now the ultimate evil could request and research malicious equipment improvements to its hard. It was necessary to erect a workshop in order for the Chaos Forge to actually be fully functional. The clever evil, of course, set about creating this immediately. Payday! While the Alliance and the demons battled each other, the bored evil sat back watching with interest some popcorn. What a great opportunity to finally destroy the Alliance's camp. But it's important not to rush these things. Some creatures had been hiding in a secret room. They joined the ultimate evil. The troll's dungeon did not make a good first impression, and was clearly under some demonic influence. Nevertheless, the horde continued fearlessly into the underground. Defend the throne room.
Co si zase objevil? Hele, obsadit!
It's payday.
No, to je taky něco. Grob.
Enemies have entered the dungeon. The troops of the ultimate evil continued searching through the troll's dungeon. What terrible secrets would they uncover? Lasted about as long as a flock of sheep at an orc family reunion. As a bonus, so to speak, a plateau appeared very close to the demonic crystal. Perhaps a troll rock thrower could be useful. Fortunately, the mission plan following evil had just recently recruited the troll rock throwers. This kind of unit could dig in and then attack the crystal from the plateau. A plateau allowed the displeased evil's creatures to see the unnatural pulsating of a demonic crystal. This crystal was located on the surface and could not be reached without anyone succumbing to its power. There are enemies in your dungeon. Payday. The trolls smashed the demonic crystal to pieces with their enormous rocks and so put an end to the aura. The horde was once again on the march.
You'll pay for that. The one true evil will not be stopped.
It was more than a curious question as to what the demons here were all about. What was their motivation? And why had Gandaldor allied himself with them?
Tak jo, jdem to zničit, jdem to zničit. Jdem to všechno poničit. Ještě jdem dojet tuhle misi. Huh?
The unspeakable evil's creatures came across some alliance troops near the entrance to the dungeon. They had set up a cozy-looking camp and were having a picnic. The alliance camp went up in smoke and flames. The unspeakable evil's creatures shouted and roared their victory to all and sundry. It would take some time before it dawned on them that they could have feasted royally from the contents of the alliance's stores.
Hordu za hordu!
The Horde discovered another Alliance camp. Go get 'em! I mean, that's what the ultimate evil's creatures might say in that. A few more demons had idiotically thrown themselves into an attack on the Horde. There was an entrance leading into the underground behind them. That had to be Gandaldor's hideout.
Welcome. You who are about to die, we salute you. Only live die. For horror. For the one true evil.
Troll's dungeon did not make a good first impression, and was clearly under some. The Alliance camp went up in flames. An inner voice, as well as the mission display, informed the ultimate evil that there were no other camps in the area. Heyday! Gandaldor hit the ground. The horde had triumphed. Quite naturally, even a demonically possessed magician was absolutely for the ultimate evil. Nevertheless, Gandaldor's words were significant, because he really was convinced that he was serving the one true evil. Apparently, there was competition out there. The remaining demons fled from the victorious horde in droves via brand new demon portals that suddenly appeared out of nowhere. Where would they go? All would be revealed at a future date. At least their master had been destroyed. Troubled by the lack of control it was able to exert over the renegade demons, the ultimate evil traveled north into the playground. This area was home to the undead, who had eked out an existence there for eons. It was certain they would be eager to join the ultimate evil.
Tak a tady se dám cesta, pičo, kdyby nám nekecal.
Troubled by the lack of control it was able to exert over the renegade demon. Troubled by the lack of control it was able to exert
Ne.
the ultimate evil traveled north into the playgrounds. This area was home to the undead, who had eked out an existence there for eons. It was certain they would be eager to join the ultimate evil.
No, teraz se tady tam rozdělují dvě cesty. Jedna cesta je stále za hordu, což je tady tahle, a tahle je za démony. Kterou půjdem, tak ke konci můžeme buď pak zničit, udělat konec za démony, anebo za hordu. Takže to necháme asi na příště. A já se mezi tím rozmyslím, kterou cestu půjdem. Pravděpodobně obě dvě.